wonder why. Preferences, audio. Oh yeah, I am really low. Look at that.
There you are.
I didn't even do anything yet. Oh, hi. Hello.
Yeah, you're normal now. Your volume is normal, let's be clear.
Yeah, I don't think I've been normal in my life.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right, you're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Twitter at namely90s.com / with a 90. Namely90s.com with a 90s. I don't know.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at namely90s with a 90s.
Yes. You can also find this show on YouTube every Monday at namely90s.com / YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to be a supporter of our podcast, financially speaking, head on over to patreon.com / namely90s, also with a 90s, to get started today.
And we have cool perks for you that we haven't enacted yet since we don't have any patrons yet.
Patronage.
Vagina monologue. What?
Yeah, so what's new?
Well, as you may have noticed last week, I started reading the wrong year in our thing. That was fun.
I did notice that, yes.
So let's see what happens this week when
little bonus spoiler content.
Oh yeah. Let's see what's new with me. Not much. It's I mean, currently I finished Loki, which is a freaking amazing series. I highly recommend it if you have Disney Plus.
So good.
Andrew's not seen a single MCU movie or TV
not
series.
True. I saw Iron Man 1 and 2.
You
probably
saw Iron Man 1 and 2. They got better. I mean,
those are comic book movies, right?
Those are MCU movies. The first Iron Man is pretty good. The second one, but you've not even seen Avengers.
No, Kayla was scrolling through Disney Plus Marvel the other night. And I was just like, I don't want to watch any of this. And that's when we settled on
the Jumanji from 2016.
No, I think this was last night. I settled on that bad new Melissa McCarthy movie where she's like a superhero. You know that one?
Well, yeah. Welcome to the final edition of Namely 90s.
Like, I don't want to watch any of these Marvel movies. Let's watch this stupid Melissa McCarthy movie where she pretends to be a superhero.
The one where Andrew finally pushes Brandon over the edge.
And Brandon literally pushes Andrew over an edge.
Oh, if only we were in the same recording space.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, I fell asleep during the movie, if that helps.
That's better, I guess. The Loki series was so good, and I feel like you don't have to understand much of anything in the MCU to watch that one. Just because it's so like removed from it. Although the ending really sets up the future of where it's going. Also,
well, again, if you're watching it, you can just tell people you're having a low key night in.
Yep, which you would very much enjoy doing. Watch his Twitter. See if you said that.
We just came off of a mini series, which was really good, called "I'll Be Gone in the Dark." It's the story of Patton Oswalt's late wife, who was like an independent crime journalist who helped to capture the Golden State Killer. That was really good.
Nice. I just watched The IT Crowd, which was a part of my nerd lexicon, my nerd background that I hadn't watched yet. And That was British humor.
Yeah.
From the late 2000s, which really felt it hasn't aged great.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I was reading. Apparently, there's an episode that I didn't get to see because it's been pulled because of a transphobic storyline. To which the director's response, instead of being like, yeah, I can see that, he just becomes a giant, staunch supporter of the anti-transgender movement, which it's like, what?
This is the director?
Director, writer, producer of the series. Yeah.
Wow. Donald Trump is multi-talented.
Yeah. Although that statement doesn't make sense either. But yeah, it's like, first J.K. Rowling, like, are the Brits just like secretly transphobic?
Which is weird considering how much of their humor revolves around men wearing women's clothing.
I mean, that's possibly a reason why, like, because of like all the Monty Python cast dressing up in women's clothing and treating it as a joke. It's like how the Big Bang Theory, for over a decade, treated nerd culture as a joke. No, because nerd culture has kind of taken over. Like, MCU is popular, Star Wars is popular.
Yeah, but it was such a facade of nerd culture because it, like, the people weren't actually smart and the jokes weren't smart. They were
the punchline. The nerds are the punchline in that. But, for, at least in America, it desensitizes you to I
think it also grossly misrepresented nerd culture.
I didn't want. I mean,
in a lot of ways.
I hate watched like 5 or 6 seasons on TBS, but I was not a fan of the show.
Yeah, the laugh track is burned into my psyche.
Oh, that was the other thing. Like the first couple episodes, like the laugh track was garish. It was just like every single joke. I'm like, that wasn't even a joke in there. What?
Also, an awful lot of white folks in that show.
One of the 3 main cast members is a black man.
Still, I stand by my statement.
Sorry. In the IT crowd, you were talking about Big Bang Theory.
I'm talking about the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I was talking about the IT crowd. I was back on. Yeah. No, you are correct. Awful lot of white people in that show. Yeah, the IT crowd was a good watch. Although towards the end it got more zany and more like, I don't know. I think the sweet spot was season 2, series 2, series 3. And I managed to watch it in like a day and a half because there's only 6 episodes per series. Yeah. You watched a Melissa McCarthy movie?
Yes, I did. She's funny and stuff. Identity Thief's a real good movie. You should watch that one.
Is that the one with
Jason
Bateman? Thank you.
Yes, it's a good one. But then we watched that, and it's pretty much the same premise as Due Date, which is that Robert Downey Jr., Zach Galifianakis thing.
Is she in that one too?
No, but it's just kind of similar.
Is Melissa McCarthy the female Zach Galifianakis?
She might be. Oh, did you see that weird thing where like Seth Rogen apparently shaved his beard and ditched the glasses for some role, and it looks super creepy, and he doesn't even look like himself?
No.
Look up Seth Rogen without beard.
The one thing I remember recently is that that Seth Rogen meme where he was like, because you heard about that track star that smoked weed and now she can't be in the Olympics or something. He was like, as a heavy stoner, some to the extent of as a heavy stoner, I clearly have been able to, it has clearly enhanced my performance in track and field or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly. No, that whole thing is such a crock of S.
Yes. Oh, whoa, that's him. Yikes.
But no, it's very weird. And I don't like it. But when I looked at the Twitter, it was like I went to an article that supposedly had pictures but you had to like scroll through his Twitter post or Instagram post, and the first thing was just like a picture of, I think, Pamela Lee biting someone's nipple.
Pamela Anderson Lee?
Yeah. It was weird.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't really read the tweet. I just wanted to see the weird picture.
Back to the bad marijuana memes that I couldn't remember. It was a picture of Willie Nelson in black and white, and the caption was something like, what years of performance-enhancing drugs will do to you.
Yeah. That's funny.
He looks creepy. But I think it's also the hair, the long hair is not right either.
No, it's weird, really wrong.
Kind of looks like Kyle Mooney from SNL.
Yeah. What else? Oh, gosh, it's weird because this app is coming out in the second week of August, right?
Uh-huh.
So anything I have to say doesn't seem very timely.
How's your vacation going?
We are getting ready to go soon. Someone's going to be taking care of the cats. We got everything all set up.
Kids will be fine on their own.
Yep, kids have a bowl of food out. No, I'm just kidding. The kids are staying with their They're very loving and capable grandparents. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming real.
Wow. Good thing we pre-recorded this so that you don't have to record on your 10-year.
I should just be in the airplane recording this.
It probably would be about the same amount of delay.
Live from the Pacific Ocean. Okay.
We could call it the Pacific Theater. Wait.
No. Really, let's not go back into World War II jokes. Although I did see this thing that was like, all men over 30 have an important decision to make, whether or not to get super into World War II history or smoking meats. And I'm of that age, so I have to decide which way I'm going.
Yeah, I think I
start off by watching Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill, and then smoke a brisket.
Just to dip your toe in both ends.
Yep.
Well, should we get back to the year that I talked about last week?
Yes, take us back, if you will, to August of 1992.
Travel back, listener, if you will, to August 1992. On the 2nd, Haley Eisenberg is born, and that is Jesse Eisenberg's sister, and she's also, if you remember, the girl from the Pepsi commercial. Do you remember which Pepsi commercial I'm talking about?
No.
It's this cute little girl sitting at like a diner bar, and she's drinking a can of Pepsi, and then or she's like, 1 Pepsi, please. And then she drinks the whole can, and then for some reason her voice goes like super baritone, I think.
Yeah.
That was good. Or something.
I thought you were going to say it was his sister is Britney Spears.
No, that would be the other Pepsi commercial, which I think she was still in at the end of for some reason. Moving forward, on the 4th, Cole and Dylan Sprouse are born. They are best known for the twins from the Disney Channel original series Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Sweet Life on Deck. Dylan is currently in Riverdale. Is it Dylan? Cole.
You're going to say Rehab.
Maybe it's Cole. Cole is in Riverdale. I don't know. One of them's in Riverdale. The moody one is in Riverdale. They also played Ross's son in the later episodes of Friends. And they were in I'm pretty sure it's not Little Nicky. It's the other Adam Sandler movie that has Jon Stewart's in it. Adam Sandler's Big Daddy. No, do you remember this one? I wrote down Little Nicky. That's incorrect. Do you remember the movie where he like gets a son to impress a girl or something?
No, I only apparently know Adam Sandler movies that contain Jennifer Aniston.
You have to remember this one. I know you've seen this one. We've talked about
What's
this one.
What's the premise
before.
Again?
There's this hot girl, and he pretends to adopt a child to impress her.
Is this an old film?
Big Daddy. It is Big Daddy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it was a 90s film.
Okay.
Big Daddy is a 1999 film. 1999 comedy film. The plot follows Adam Sandler, a 32-year-old man who gets dumped by his girlfriend for not accepting responsibility. He then tries to be responsible by adopting a 5-year-old boy, who just randomly appears on his doorstep. This is the one where,
advised.
Yeah, this is the one where they're like both peeing in public on a door. Yeah.
That's literally a way to become a registered sex offender, so probably not a good plan.
Yeah, that was not his child. Yeah.
Oh, that's
he didn't actually adopt the child. He just pretended to. But I think by the end of the movie, he has a change of heart. On the 7th, the Orlando Magic sign the number 1 NBA draft pick, Shaquille O'Neal, best known as Shaq, star of such movies as Shazam and Steel. Oh yeah. On the 8th, do you know who Shaquille O'Neal is?
Yes, isn't he also like the spokesperson for some sort of athlete's foot treatment?
I remember him being the spokesperson for Icy Hot. Currently, he owns Papa John's, I think, and he also owns the General car insurance because he's in those commercials, which I saw a lot of over the last week for some reason. Did something, go with the General and save some time.
Yeah, he's in those commercials, isn't he?
Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
Huh. Okay.
And Papa John's.
Wow. I don't know how I came across. It's like Shaquille O'Neal with an Epson printer, and it just says, just fill and chill.
Okay. On the 8th, the original NBA Dream Team, consisting of Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, and Patrick Ewing, win their first Olympic gold in Barcelona.
That's Barcelona. Thank you.
What is that from?
That's how they pronounce it.
Oh, really? Barcelona.
Yeah, they do like a TH thing with the C in Spain, I'm pretty sure. I'm not wrong about that.
I guess I was doing my British pronunciation. Or Scott's been doing English.
I typed in Barcelona and it came up with FC Barcelona before the actual article for the city.
Yeah. A football club, man. On the 12th, Cara Delevingne. Nope, let me try that again. Cara Delevingne, model, actress, LGBTQ advocate. Best known for her roles in Valerian and the planets, that movie, Valerian and the Thousand Sons of Stars.
Valerian, isn't that a root?
Probably. But it's also a sci-fi novel that was turned into a terrible movie that Rihanna was in for some reason. And she starred in it, Cara Delevingne. I watched the movie twice, I think, at this point, and didn't think. No, it's bad. It's by the same guy that did The Fifth Element, the Luc Besson. Remember, you hated his movies?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. I hate everything, though.
French movie. Well, that's true, but specifically, you were like dumb. And I want to say she was in Suicide Squad as Enchantress, not the new one that came out recently, but the bad one. That was just utterly terrible. And why did DC keep making movies yeah. Walk away, Brandon. On the 13th, the 25th SDCC, do you know what that stands for?
Nope.
Opens at the Doubletree Hotel.
Is it a sex thing?
Yes. But Actually, it's the exact opposite. San Diego Comic-Con. Get
it? Got it. Yeah. Incels or something.
On the 15th, Nickelodeon starts its Saturday night programming block called SNICK. On the 20th, Demi Lovato, best known for Camp Rock on the Disney Channel, and The X Factor. I think she's
shouting while singing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think she sings, in air quotes, is born. And on the 27th, Super Mario Kart for the Super NES is released in Japan and is the first in the Mario Kart series, which I bring up for this episode because it's released in September of 1992 in the US or October, whatever. Either way, we've done that episode already and have failed to mention Super Mario Kart.
Good.
So TV premiering in August of 92. On the 15th, we have The Larry Sanders Show on HBO and Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon. And on the 27th, we have Martin on Fox. Andrew, can you tell me if that's a show about Steve Martin, actor Steve Martin, or actor Martin Lawrence?
Is it one of the two, or is this a trick question?
It's one of the two.
Martin Lawrence.
It is Martin Lawrence. Well done. Well done. Also, if you want to fact check that for me, you can go ahead and do that. In the box office, on the 7th, we have Three Ninjas. On the 14th, we have Single White Female. And on the 28th, we have both Honeymoon in Vegas and Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. Yes. And on the Billboard charts, number 1 for August 1992, in from July for the first week, Baby's Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. And the second week is Used to Be My Playground by Madonna. And for the rest of the month and through November, it is End of the Road by Boys to Men. And also for the second week of August on the Billboard charts in 1992, we have at number 5, November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Number 6, we have Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. Number 8, we have Life is a Highway by Tom Cochrane. Number 18, Friday I'm in Love by The Cure. Number 20, Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And number 25, My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It by En Vogue.
I prefer the Rascal Flatts cover of Life is a Highway.
Hey, do you like Namely 90s podcasts?
Well, we got a deal for you.
Over at patreon.com/namely90s. That's patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s.
Head on over there if you want to see such tiers as Jules Green Room or the 90s Kids Club.
90s Kids Club or Namely 90s Faithful. And help us out by patronizing us at a $5, $10, or $30 level. Your patronizing will help go into new equipment, better sounding features, and less ads like this.
And finding someone who has more to say than Andrew.
And possibly someone that doesn't get his knowledge from Wikipedia. Patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s.
That's namely90s.com with a 90s.
Namely90s.com with a 90s. Thank you for your support
and patronage.
We appreciate it. And now back to the show. Hope you enjoyed our weird commercial for this week.
It was really, really odd. But hey, you know what? We're trying to keep things fresh, keep them loose.
And if you don't want to hear a bi-monthly Patreon squawkle,
kerfuffle,
patronize us at patreon.com/namely90s.
Like, yeah, you guys are really good.
Yeah. Anywhere you want to go?
Speaking of patronizing, boy, Eisenberg, magic. No.
Well, aren't I glad I co-host the podcast with you? Let's go to.
This is a tough one.
It's August.
I feel like Demi Lovato is just shouting at the music.
I went to the Arianna Grande School of Diction.
I don't mind Arianna. She's all right.
But you still pronounce your name wrong?
Arianna.
It's a hard R-E.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those names that no one actually knows how to pronounce it, including the person whose name that it is. Every time someone says that name, like on the school, when they're taking roll the first day of school, it's a struggle. Arianna. Yeah.
No, you'll be Arianna from now on. And that's that. But she pronounces it Ari.
Wasn't that a thing from Loveline? I think it was like Tara, don't call me Tara, goddammit, was like the name of the producer or something, or the
yes.
Some sort of person on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny.
So SNICK, let's head over to SNICK. Did you ever watch some SNICK Nickelodeon?
I'm sure I did. I think there should have been a segment where someone like drew stuff on the screen, and they could have called it Snickerdoodles.
Oh, I thought you were going to reference the popsicle stick man Snick Snickly, which was actually a thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a SNICK thing. It was like a popsicle stick, two googly eyes, like a yellow cotton ball nose, and just like, hey, I'm Snick Snickly.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
And I think he was that. I want to say he was the host of SNICK for a while, but for those of you who don't know, SNICK is short for Saturday Night Nickelodeon.
SNICK.
Yeah, I don't remember the extra N. And wow, interesting. That was a 2-hour programming block on Nickelodeon geared towards older preteen to teen audiences that ran from 1992 to 2005. It aired on Saturdays starting at 8 p.m. and ended at 10. SNICK was eventually revamped as the Saturday night edition of Teen Nick. No double N there either. Teen Nick. Teen Nick. I guess you don't have that in front of you. It's spelled Teenick.
Teen Nick.
And Nickelodeon continues to run a Saturday night programming block today. But the Teen Nick name was removed in 2009. The debut block on August 15th, 1992 started with a pair of Sunday night favorites, the teen sitcom Clarissa Explains It All, the Nicktoon Ren and Stimpy, and the network premieres of Roundhouse, a musical comedy variety series, which I have never seen or heard of, and Are You Afraid of the Dark, a horror fantasy drama anthology series, which is where I'm leaning into. Do you remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Ghost Story show, right?
Yes. Not to be confused with like Ghost Rider or Tales from the Crypt or any of the 90s was really big on like Twilight Zone type shows. And
scary stories.
Yeah, that scar children for life. The premiere episode was The Tale of the Twisted Claw, which was a pilot episode that originally aired on Canadian television network YTV. And then the pilot aired on Nickelodeon in October 25th, 1991 as a Halloween special. And then finally, the series premiered on SNICK this month in August 1992 and aired until 1996. The series was revolved around a group of teenagers who referred to themselves as the Midnight Society. Every episode at a secret location in the woods at night, one member would tell a scary story to the group. The actual story, rather than telling, the actual story was shown rather than told. It was displayed to the viewer. That's a weird sentence. Thank you, Wikipedia. And the story was shown between the group's arrival at the site and their departure. So every story or every episode would begin with one of them like teeing up the story and then finally saying, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I called this story whatever. And then he or she would toss a handful of quote unquote midnight dust, which was just coffee mate, from a leather pouch into the campfire to heighten the flames and produce an eerie white smoke. too, and Goosebumps. Goosebumps was also in the 90s. Wow.
Yeah.
But Are You Afraid of the Dark scared me, man. Like,
whose bright idea was that? It's too scary for before bed.
Right? I guess it was aimed at teens, so I shouldn't have been watching it that late. But it was legit scary to a child who didn't understand the concept of make believe.
All the stories were real in everyone's mind.
Yeah, they're just dramatizations on the screen, right? Because they're real stories told by the Midnight Society, who are real people. But yeah, I don't think I could tell you a single episode.
And that's why you keep coming back to this podcast, folks.
Yeah. But as we mentioned, so we do this thing on the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod show called Queltly 90s. On their segments, half of their episodes, they now have 2 episodes a week. On their segment side, which is on Thursdays, we do a game for them. And this past week's episode, we did the intro to Are You Afraid of the Dark? And when we were explaining it, what a long walk to get there. I mentioned a couple of OG cast members and one of the 2 revival cast members that went on to do better things. Joanna Garcia, she was the daughter in Reba, and she was in Once Upon a Time as something, I want to say. One of the tertiary characters. And what was the other thing she was in? Anyway. And then some actress that I've never heard of before, who was in the Clueless TV series, and Nancy on Peep Show, which is a UK long-running, like one of their longest-running BAFTA acclaimed TV series. And then Alicia Cuthbert from 24.
24.
And then some girl that was on Glee. That looks like the Leah Michele, but it's not. Thinner. I want to say thinner.
Is that on her resume? I look like Leah Michele, but I'm not.
Yeah, well, I want to say she was of Hispanic origin, where Leah Michele is of Jewish descent. And please, someone fact check me on that and get back to me.
Hashtag fact check.
Yes. I don't remember her name either. Really quality stuff on this show. Do you remember anything about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
No, I don't.
The intro would be like someone's carrying a match that's lit, and then
I do remember the match.
Blown out.
I remember the match.
Yes.
Something stuck with me.
And then Are You Afraid of the Dark would appear over where the match was, and then the match would get blown out or something. I want to say there was a moon, possibly. We should move on to Mario Kart then. Super Mario Kart is a
the origin.
The OG is a 1992 kart racing game developed by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or SNES as I say, or SNES as other people say.
SNES.
Steampunk Link. We should do an episode together at some point. It is the 4th best-selling SNES game of all time. And you can currently play it if you own a Switch and have Nintendo Online. Or if you have one of those old school Super Nintendo things. In Super Mario Kart, the player takes control of one of 8 Mario series characters, each with differing capabilities. You know what Mario Kart is. If you're listening to this and you don't know what Mario Kart is, I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you. Andrew, we've talked about Mario Kart 64 before, I think.
I've never played the SNES version.
Really? You just said in the last episode you have a mini SNES.
Yeah, but we don't. I mean, I cut my teeth on Mario Kart 64. So that's the game I know and love most.
But you play Mario Kart 8 now.
A little with the kids, but not competitively.
I play competitive with it. Did I tell you the story of a couple months ago when I was in Arizona and my nephew and I were playing Mario Kart, and he was actually starting to beat me because I think I was playing on my console and he was playing on his console. And
you decided to try and just destroy him?
No.
Oh.
Well, I did, and then he still beat me because he's been playing Mario Kart obsessively, so he could beat me. And it's one of those moments where you're like, oh no, I've entered old age.
Every time we play Rocket League, we're getting our butts kicked by 13-year-olds.
Yes, but it doesn't have the when your son beats you at Mario Kart, when you're actually trying, you'll understand.
Yeah, fortunately, we're not there quite yet, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, and soon. Because they're only a few years younger than my nephew is. They're coming for you, Andrew. They're coming for you. But yeah, I to be fair, he chose like a super fast CC, and I think he had bumpers on. I'm pretty sure he had bumpers on. I didn't have bumpers on. And
the trick was always to lurk in a lower placement, but still in the main pack, so you could get a good item and overtake the first place person. Like the mistake was always trying to stay in first place the whole time because you kept getting hit by those goddamn blue shells, you know?
Yeah, but in Super Mario 8, you have the sound thing, so you can sit in first, no problem.
Yeah. They kind of nerfed the blue shell in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. But and also after that, I had my first loss at Super Mario 64 in over 10 years. A friend of mine, from True North Collective, Janell and I were playing Mario Kart 64 on my Wii.
What up, True North?
And I didn't take her seriously, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty good at it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what everyone says." And I lost best of 4, and only because I was unable to. In my vanity, Andrew, on Koopa Troopa Beach, I tried to hit the secret jump, the tunnel. Behind the waterfall. I hit it the first time and I was like way ahead the whole race. And the second time I had a mushroom, like the first time I had a star. So you get that launch.
Right.
And the second time I had a mushroom, but I didn't realize you still needed to jump with the mushroom, since it's been over 20 years probably since I've used a mushroom to get in there.
Right.
And so I hit the wall and tumbled, and then everyone overtook me, and I got 6th on that, and I lost bad.
How embarrassing.
It is quite embarrassing. I don't know why I brought that up again.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell that story.
I just did.
It's not a good look.
On our nationally syndicated podcast.
Nationally syndicated to as many as 87 people a week.
Yes, or 43 first listens.
True.
Shout out to our under 50 crowd.
Rate, like, and subscribe. Rate,
and
review,
patronizing us. I need to plug in my camera. 1 second. Why don't you riff for 3 minutes about Mario Kart?
Here we are riffing about Mario Kart. Yeah, Mario Kart was funny because the 64 version anyway, because it seemed like there was something built into that cartridge where it would like randomly speed up and go really fast for no apparent reason. I could never really figure out the circumstances under which that occurred. And then I do know that when we played Mario Kart 64, like you weren't allowed to do the shortcuts. Like sometimes we would do a race where we did shortcuts just for fun, but like Bowser's Stadium or whatever, you could do that thing in like no time if you did that jump over the middle of the wall. Bowser's Stadium? Is that what's the shortcut?
Wario Stadium.
Wario Stadium, thank you. Wario Stadium had that epic shortcut if you were good enough.
I feel like that's cheap.
No, we didn't do it. We never did it during actual races, but sometimes we'd have a race and say, okay, shortcuts are cool. Yeah, and then I would always lose because I couldn't do them very effectively.
And everyone would just have like a minute 30 on Wario Stadium, and then you're like coming in at 5 minutes.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you can tell the world you never was my girl. You can burn my clothes up when I'm gone. Or you can tell your friends just what a fool I've been and laugh and joke about me on the phone. You can tell my arms go back to the farm. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. You can tell my lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you no more. Can you tell me the next line?
I don't know what song this is.
Ooh. But don't tell my heart.
Ah, dang it.
My achy, breaky heart. I just don't think he'd understand.
I didn't think we were going there.
And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. Oh. You can tell your ma I moved to Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Or you can tell your dog to bite my leg. Or tell your brother Cliff, whose fists can tell my lips, he never liked me anyway. Or tell your Aunt Louise, tell anything you please. That's a rhyme. Myself already knows I'm not okay. Or you can tell my eyes to watch out for my mind. It might be walking out on me one day. But don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart. I just don't think he'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. Oh. But don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, I just don't think he'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. Don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, I just don't think he'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might just blow up and kill this man. That's the sound the song
How
makes.
horrible is that?
Yeah. I vowed never to cover this in our episode, but I just hate it so much. For me, this was the death of country. I know you enjoyed country past this song.
I didn't enjoy this song.
Yes,
and
but
it wasn't written by Billy Ray Cyrus. He just performed it. But why would you perform such a garbage song?
I mean, because he's Billy Ray Cyrus.
I think charts, Billy Ray Cyrus version, Alvin and the Chipmunks version. Thanks, Wikipedia.
No, that can't be true.
It became the first single ever to achieve triple platinum status in Australia.
Was he Australian?
No, not at all.
It's on VH1 and Blender's list of the 50 most awesomely bad songs ever. Considered by some as one of the worst songs of all time.
Apparently, the song was originally recorded by the Oak Ridge Boys in the early 1990s. But they decided against it.
So it is recognized as part of the transitional period in country music where Cyrus brought renewed interest to a dying breed of music among younger listeners. And I think I've been saying this for years. That is the pivotal point where I think if I do actually listen to country music, which isn't my forte, I will listen to oldies. I will listen to Cash. I'll listen to Nelson. I'll listen to Jennings, and I will listen to.
Yeah, that stuff makes me want to shoot myself.
Really? Well, you don't like older music, like past the 80s.
In 1994, Bill Nye the Science Guy parodied the song as AC/DC Charge.
I think I remember that. In an episode of Bill, or was that in Bill Nye, or was that in Almost Live?
It does not say.
I guess Weird Al also parodied it as Achy Breaky Song, which is about a man's disdain for the song.
That's perfect.
What I would really like to see is a hip hop version of the song, probably called Achy Breaky 2, in which he would reprise his role in the chorus. I don't know, that happened in 2014.
I hate that song.
It's the worst. It's just the worst. Why does
and that's
it
his
exist?
signature song. Wow.
It is. Well, that was from what I remember. That was his off of his debut album. And
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It was a crossover hit on pop and country radio, and it peaked at number 4.
Come on, America and Australia.
Yeah, it was his biggest single until he was featured on Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, which has got to be a slap in the face at some point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to take your old song and remix it, and it's going to go better than Achy Breaky 2.
I think we should just be done with that song overall as a culture.
Aren't we? Are we not?
Well, apparently not.
Well, this is a nostalgia show, so...
No, I meant as a
Old Town
culture.
Road.
Just generally. No.
You mean
Achy Breaky Heart? It's terrible.
It is.
We could talk about it. I'm just saying, like, as a culture, everyone needs to stop doing stuff with it. Just let it die, you know?
Oh, I'm pretty sure when a country song is hip hop remix is a failure, then there's literally no other place you could go with it.
True.
Until probably another decade or two when it will become a classic song, which will be used in some Marvel episode of a show. They did Holding Out for a Hero in one of the Loki episode intros, and that was like, I could listen to the song again. I'll pay the $1.29 on iTunes to have it on my
iTunes. Yes.
Well, anything else you want to talk about for August 1992?
No, I think I'm about to pass out from the heat.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s with 90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. And if you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Achy Breaky Heart, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
That was weird. It's fine.